Wembanyama is obviously a very solid all-around player, but the area I think he stands out the absolute most is with his rim protection. We're going to look at a couple examples of him just being absolutely on another level with rim protection. So this first one, even though he doesn't always get a piece of the ball necessarily, simply his length causes players to have to change their angle. So here you would see Thompson would normally have a pretty uncontested layup on the right side over here, but Wembanyama is able to use his length, time it well enough where he's in an area where he can affect the shot, and Thompson has to adjust it slightly. I don't think Wembanyama gets a piece of it, but because Thompson has to go slightly faster, it makes it so it throws off his shot. And so anytime you put Wembanyama on a post player like this, he can sag off a little bit and provide excellent rim protection. He just does this on such a crazy high elite level. So here you're going to see Cunningham, obviously the biggest thrower on the Detroit, and Wembanyama does a great job of one, put the hand up to prevent the quick mid-range shot, but then stays with the post player. But then as Cade goes to drive right here, he's going to be really late, but his length allows him to cover so much ground. He waits until Cade's all the way off the ground because Cade has to readjust because 24 did a good job. Wembanyama is able to get his hands up there and make it so Cade has nowhere he can go with the ball. And again, it resorts in a clean turnover because of that great defense, not only by 24, but also by Wembanyama getting a piece of that ball at the end. And here the Spurs do something that I completely agree with, and they put Wembanyama on effectively the non-shooter in the corner. And so because Holland can't shoot out there, they're content with leaving him, and Wembanyama is just going to come over on the paint, double if he needs to, put a hand in any passing lanes, and the Spurs are going to have much more effective defense. And when Holland actually cuts here, I don't know if Wembanyama gets a piece of this ball, but this ball is so far off trajectory-wise that it looks like he does, like maybe he got a piece on the way up, but that is unbelievable length to either deflect the ball like this or simply to get a piece of that on the way up was absolutely impressive. And then one of the big things about Wembanyama I'm starting to grow I like a lot more is his situational awareness is getting much better. And so because there's a really low shot clock, he doesn't rise initially because it's not a great three-point shooter right here, but he pauses slightly and then goes up after he realizes the offensive player has no other result, but he has to shoot it. And Wembanyama blocks this with his elbow. He gets that with a huge amount of space because he had good time and situation, great awareness by Wembanyama in back-to-back possessions. And the thing is, this affects so much of what the offense can actually run because you know that you're going to have Wembanyama to clean up anything that gets by in the post. So here we can see again he's guarding the center right here, and his ability to guard both of them. One, I love that little timing right there where he's not committed one way or the other. He still could go both directions, and his length allows him to cover so much ground in such a quick amount of time that he's able to get the ball over 24 trying to dunk it right there. Very impressive. To be able to do this to another elite NBA player is unbelievably impressive. Timing and length and just awareness on defense. And this is the very next possession. You see the exact same concept this time with Cade Cunningham. And so Cade's coming downhill, and Cade's going to have a relatively clean look. Does a great step through, but Wembanyama went from crouched down low to exploding so high vertically off the glass. And he's able to just absolutely meet this at its arc, at its peak, and just the ability to leap up and cover that much ground is unbelievably impressive and leads to another clean turnover that goes the Spurs direction. Very impressive. Absolutely love it from Wembanyama. Again, this is just a few minutes later, and his ability to simply affect the game this much in such a short time span is unbelievably impressive. Again, we're going to see Cade has a relatively open look, does a great job driving. You could argue the Pistons aren't great spaced out here. But Wembanyama does a great job staying with the post player and then also be able to leap with Cade. Cade goes off balance right here, and Wembanyama is just simply able to cover ground so much more effectively than the average NBA player that he can get these kind of shots. It's absolutely impressive, and it eliminates one of their best score. It eliminates one of the ways that he tries to drive and get most efficient shots. And so we're going to see the almost very similar situation where Cade's going to go to drive, and he's like, okay, well, I got blocked last couple of times, now I got to pass it, and so he drops it off to the post. But Wembanyama is so long and such a good job of going to the right spot that he's going to be able to get a piece of both of them. I mean, my personal opinion is 7 can't float away right here. He's got to go up through the contact and try and get a foul call. But as soon as you try and drift away like that, I mean, you're not going to get more separation than Wembanyama does, and Wembanyama is able to get a fingertip on the ball. Again, they wanted goaltending, but I don't know. It looked relatively clean to me. I think he got it at the peak, but that's just an example of how much Wembanyama affects the game. Absolutely unbelievable. He's a tremendous defensive player.